Hey Dave, how are you? Good to see you here.
Hey, buddy, how are you? Good to see you.
I'm fine, I'm fine. I'm always happy to see you as well. Dave and I know each other since the last 1 year. I was his guest at his house in Miami, which he has been super hospitable. And since we're in similar frequencies, he's also a speaker. And in that matter, apart from his own business, he's also always advancing. So he's also someone that I appreciate. But before I ask you about our topic, which is productivity, Dave, I would like you to introduce yourself a bit more before we start, please.
Okay, my name's Dave Ziegelman. I have been in the Miami market working for L'Oreal for the last 20 plus years. Prior to that, I was very entrepreneurial. I had my own special events marketing company in the Midwest. And the only reason I left was because my business partner died of a heart attack. And I thought, do I want to stay in the Midwest or do I want to see what's out there in the world? So I took a chance, came down to Miami and got involved in the beauty industry. And it's been a great run. I'm still very entrepreneurial. I have other projects going on the side, and it's a pleasure to see you.
Well, I mean, I invited you to this speech due to exactly the things you said. You're an extremely productive person, at least on my eyes, and I'm sure on a lot of people's eyes.
Oh, thank
And
you.
I want to ask you some questions about this. But first, I want to ask you because people might have subjective opinions about the term productivity. It's a big word, right? What is it for you, Dave? What does productivity mean to you?
I think that when you look at the word productivity, at least I do, it's about being on purpose. It's about being on purpose in what you do, the way you think, how you structure your life. And I think that there are so many components of productivity that there's a formula, I believe, and I think that people, and by no means have I mastered it at all. As a matter of fact, I think that some of us are our own worst critics, thinking, well, there's so much more I could have accomplished. There's so much more I could have accomplished. And, you know, the, I guess it's looking inside yourself and seeing, what you're capable of. And are you living your best life with the gifts that God gave you? I guess it's the easiest way to put it.
You put it in a very well summarized way as well, in a nutshell, basically. And you also touched a good point, which I'll ask you in a minute, because a lot of people who I would say, the ones that I know, I could consider them as above average productive. A lot of people don't feel productive most of the time, some of them constantly, but I'll get to that in a second. I want to ask you, because as I said, I do think you're a productive person, but what you think about yourself matters most, right? So do you feel that you're productive? And as a follow-up question, are there moments that you say, no, that you're not productive enough? And in these moments, what do you say to yourself?
Absolutely. I feel it's funny, and thank you for that nice compliment. I have my list of things to do for the day, and I may only get through a fourth of the list. So I feel like I'm not being productive. I think that we go through cycles. I think that their frame of mind has so much to do with it. And I think that having little small accomplishments, beginning with making your bed in the morning to folding whatever laundry needs to be folded, little things like that are successes. And the more you can add successes up, the more they roll into larger successes. I know it sounds crazy, but if I don't make my bed, then I feel like I haven't been productive. So, I start with something small. Maybe, I mean, it's like when I wake, I'm not a morning person. So if I wake up in the morning and brush my teeth and make my bed, I'm on a roll, you know? So I think that we all get into ruts. And I think that mindset, uh, the neurotransmitters of happiness are dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. And dopamine, I wasn't feeling productive this morning because I'm a little bit under the weather. I'm not my normal gregarious, lively self. And I walked outside just to take the garbage out because I've been postponing it. And just a little bit of sunshine, I think created, I guess it's a little bit of dopamine and serotonin and made me feel a little bit better. And I said, you know what? I needed that little bit of sunshine just to continue with the mundane tasks of just living my day. So do I think I'm productive? I think I have some days that I'm productive. And sometimes when you're on a roll and things just kind of fall into place, it's a blessing. And it's like that Corona beer commercial, enjoy the view. When you're there, whether it's on top of a mountain or sitting on a beach, when at the end of the day, you look at all that you've accomplished and you've had a great day, sometimes you just got to sit back and enjoy the view. Sometimes things don't go smooth. Sometimes days, there's the only light at the end of the tunnel is a train and it's heading your way. And, and it's like, you get down. I'm human. Sometimes, and then you can go into a spiral, and that's when it becomes unhealthy, because your body produces cortisol, and cortisol, uh, not only is it not good for your health, but it spins out of control. It causes heart disease. It causes fat, and the key is, I guess, to take care of your health physically and mentally, and then you set yourself up to be in a better position to have a productive day, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think there is a thin balance there between pushing yourself when you need to, but also giving yourself some space where you don't. And maybe I can ask a follow-up question on that about self-love, which you have walked around the subject, obviously, which I also notice a lot of people are lacking. A lot of people are quite harsh to themselves, and they're being their worst critic, as you said. On
Yeah.
that matter, how do you proceed in life when you find yourself acting without self-love? How do you regain your awareness, and how do you motivate yourself to have this attitude?
That's a great question. I think that every day when you wake up, you can think about all the things that you haven't accomplished or things that aren't going right in your life. And the person that has a leaky roof, that complains about the leaky roof, needs to recognize, at least I have a roof over my head. The person that has shoes that are worn out at least has shoes on his feet. And I know it sounds very cliche, but I think that giving yourself positive affirmations and recognizing the blessings you have in life helps set up your mindset to have a productive day. We shouldn't compare ourselves to anybody else. Some people, will look at and will think, oh my God, they're so productive. It's so amazing. And, you ask them and that's my dog squeezing his squeeze toy. I apologize. You look around and you should only compare yourself to yourself. We are, I think it's important to have a strong support team around you. And it's an honor and a blessing to call you a friend, because I know that if I had a question or I needed some support, you'd be there. So I think having a strong support team around you is important. I think trying to get the toxic people out of your life. There's people that are always going to put you down. And I think the key is, and sometimes you can't get them out of your life. Sometimes you just got to manage it, and not let other people's impressions bring you down. What's really amazing is how powerful the mind is. If you think back, and this, I know we discussed this before, your mind is so powerful that, if you're at a scary movie, even though you're in a movie, your body still becomes scared, because your mind doesn't know the difference between real and perceived fear. So if you think back, maybe an accomplishment that you had when you were in high school or when you were a child, or, something that you did, your mind can only think about one thing at a time. So it'll take the negative thoughts out of your head, and your sense of accomplishment will be the focus. And when you look back at all the things you've accomplished, yeah, I look at myself sometimes and I think to myself, my God, I haven't done a quarter of the things I want to do in life. But then I think back to when I was a kid and I told everybody I'd be living one day in Miami, living on the water. I told them all these things and they all laughed at me and they're like, oh, you're a dreamer. You're a dreamer. I guess I still am a dreamer, but my dream is becoming reality. So sometimes you can't let what other people say affect you. You just got to go and do it. Like Nike says, I mean, they've got a great tagline, just do it. But I hope that answered your question.
Very much so. This is a very big topic and we can speak for hours, I know. And it's a topic that I think we're both passionate about. But I'll ask you one last question, not to take too much of your time. I'm sure a lot of people see you as a role model. I do, for starters. And imagine a
Thank you.
young person coming to you and seeing you all productive and accomplish most of your dreams, and telling you, Dave, I want to achieve my full potential and I want to be productive, but I don't feel like that at all. I want to start somewhere. And where should I start? If somebody like that, a young person, would come to you and ask this question, what would you say?
Well, there's a saying that I've lived by: never let other people's limitations contain you. And I've said that since I get the chills when I think about that. I've said that for years. And somebody's like, well, who said that? I said that. Also, I would create a vision board. I know it sounds kind of hokey, but I have a vision board in my office, and it's things that I just cut out pictures out of a magazine, that sayings, personal, professional, pictures, that who I want to be. Who do I want to be? I put a picture of, I want to be a great uncle. I want to be, I put all the things that are important to me, and I look at it every day. So you have to have some sort of vision. And is what you're doing a step in the right direction toward your vision? Uh, Lou Holtz, famous football coach, used to say, if you want to be a star player, are you going out on Friday nights if you've got a game on Saturday? Or are you staying in? Are you eating healthy? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you working out? Because if you want to perform on the football field, you've got to take care of your body. You got to take care of your mind. So, there's cause and effect. I think the key in life is to have balance. And sometimes, we go off on binges, and we may not be, the person that we are capable of being. And it's human, and it's all right. It's all right to be human. And if somebody asked me, I would say, put down on paper and look at it every day and think to yourself, what's it going to take to do this? Well, I lived in Missouri, and I said, one day I'm going to be living on the water. Well, that's not going to happen living in Missouri. So I looked for opportunities that would take me to one of the coasts. I knew the industries that I loved. So I thought to myself, well, do I want to be in this industry, or do I want to look for opportunities? And the other thing is relationships. I can't stress enough how important it is to do as many internships, join as many professional organizations, and build as many relationships, internships, and networking opportunities as possible. You are the master at that. So I admire you, because I think to myself, like, I would one day love to write a book. And you've written, what, 6 or 8? How many have you written?
Now I have
How many
7.
books?
Yeah.
7 books. To me, I'm thinking to myself, my God, that is incredible. Like, my goal in life would be to write a book, and you've already written 7. So, but you know what? You can't compare yourself to anybody else. I'm doing what I need to be doing right now. And I know that when I'm ready, I can turn to you. But, thank you for your positive words. I think that having a vision and taking baby steps. I looked at my closet the other day, and I was so unorganized, and I'm like, where do I start? Where do I start? And it took me 2 weeks staring at an unorganized closet to try to figure out, where am I going to start to organize it? And you know what I did? I just started with one shelf. And I said, if I can organize one shelf, then at least I'll be making headway. But I had to stare at it for 2 weeks because I didn't know where to begin. And then after one shelf, I organized 2 shelves. And I think life's a lot like that. But I can't stress enough how important it is to take care of your mental health and your physical health, because without that, money doesn't mean anything.
Definitely not. It all starts with health. And as you said, both mental and physical health. I want to show that, I mean, all the speakers that I speak, apart from the things that you have mentioned, they also speak about the importance of visualization, which I also do, exactly the way you
Oh,
said
I
it.
love it.
And also,
I love it.
let me show this for the viewers to internalize more, perhaps. I also have such things where, like, I put photos of the things that I want to do or I'm doing in life.
Yep.
And
I love it.
looking at those is powerful. And I have heard from a lot of inspirational people that said the same thing that you said. Write things down, put the photos, look at them every day, so your subconscious will start focusing on it, because it doesn't distinguish reality from non-real. So as the horror movie example,
Right.
a very good point, Dave.
Yeah, we're on the same page. It's just so amazing that we came from two completely separate worlds, but our mindsets are so similar. So like I said, it's really an honor to have crossed paths with you in life.
Likewise, likewise. I mean, we could have met earlier, but this time was our time. There was a reason that we met
Yes,
here, and I'm sure it was the beginning of a good friendship and cooperation. And I really appreciate you being here as well, Dave. Before I say
it's an
thank
honor.
you, is there anything else that you would like to add before we say goodbye to you?
No, I mean, I just have a wonderful holiday season. Stay safe. I miss you. You've always got a place to stay anytime you want to come to Miami.
Here as well. Yeah, this is also your house. Don't forget. And just for our viewers to also watch your TED speech. Your name is Dave.
Thank you.
Surname is Ziegelman, which will be written. And what was the title of your TED speech? Could you remind us?
Little voices in our head, and it's funny because it has a lot to do with what we're discussing. It's the little voices in our head where sometimes people don't do things because they've got that little voice in their head telling them you can't do this, you're not good enough for this. So yeah, if you just Google search my name and TED Talk, it'll pull up.
Yeah, Dave Ziegelman, Little Voices in My Head. So also please wish this is a follow-up. And he's also on social media. I'm sure he's happy if you add him and ask him questions. Thank you very much, Dave. I really appreciate you being here. And
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
I love doing this because I learn more or remember the things that I know. So it's amazing for me. So it was the same. Really appreciate it, Dave. And see you in another
Thanks, brother.
and we take care, man.
Okay, we'll speak soon. Take care.
See you, brother.